Now,
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Chapter, Medicare Guidance Simplified.
Interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. Oh, did I also mention top 10 political commentary podcast in America as of yesterday? Behind such giants as Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, Dan Bongino, Glenn Beck, The Matt Walsh Show, Michael Knowles, Victor Davis Hanson, and then Rob Carson, number 10. Rob Carson, little Rob Carson, who 6 years ago was selling cars for a living, a hopeless drunk, for God's sake. And I got a call from a guy named Chris Ruddy from Newsmax, and I said, Newsmax, okay, Newsmax. Yeah, hello, Mr. Ruddy? Rob Carson, yes. Where you been? In an abusive relationship with radio for 25 years, sir. Rob Carson, I'm going to make you a star. And he gave me a gig, and he gave me a TV show, and then he gave me a podcast, then he gave me a radio show, and now, as of yesterday, top 10 political commentary podcasts in America. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, God. Thank you, Chris Ruddy, and thank you guys. I'm looking at you right now. I told you last year when I went through all of the things I went through, I was going to go to Washington, D.C., and I was bringing you with me. And you are here with me. We, the people, are here in Washington, D.C., and we're taking this town back. Boom. There you go. What goes into the podcast rankings is download streams, views, socials, reviews, listen times, returning listeners, and other factors. It's an all-inclusive way to see how you're doing against the competition. And right now, I'm playing with the big dogs. I've waited a very long time for this moment. But I credit you all for this. Every day I come in here, and I sit in an empty room by myself. It's largely dark outside of the desk that I brought here. I built this studio. I spent my own money, every penny that I had, to build this studio, engineer this studio myself. And I said, I'm going to Washington, D.C. after my wife divorced me. I said, I'm going to Washington, D.C. Something drew me here because you and I have been through hell together the last decade, particularly the 4 years that Joe Biden was the president. He censored us. He went after us. He went after our president. They weaponized the DOJ and every department of the government against us. Against Donald Trump. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to take his fortune. They tried to take him off the ballot, and ultimately they tried to kill him twice. But you and I stood together, and we believed, and we know that this is a battle of good and evil. It's not Democrat and Republican. It's good and evil. And we are here now. You and I are here now. Welcome to the show. Please come inside. I got a lot of stuff I need to get to today. Let's talk about, we got to talk about Adam Schiff. Now, Adam Schiff. Well, Adam Schiff. We'll get to Adam Schiff very shortly. Eric Swalwell. I mean, everybody in Washington, D.C. knew that Eric Swalwell was a scumbag. Maybe one of the big reasons why we knew that is because he was banging the snot out of a Chinese honeypot spy for a while, and he was still allowed to be in the upper echelons of intelligence in the American government, in the United States government. And the only reason that he's no longer in Congress was because the Democrat Party decided he was no longer useful. Everybody knew and was perfectly fine with his behavior, even including alleged rape against young women. And I got to tell you something, this is what this city has been doing for decades. Joe Biden ruined the career of a young woman by digitally raping her on an elevator, and then she was discarded. And they do this. I can't even begin to tell you how many times this probably happens in this city, because female flesh is cheap here. And this is a story we hear again and again and again, and I'm hoping and praying that this is the moment it changed. I have a cousin who moved here. She's 23 years old. She's gorgeous. She is working in one of the departments of government, and she was going to go work in Oklahoma. I said, you need to go to D.C. because you're going to be a rock star. And I said, but you got to be careful. You've got to be careful, and you've got to be grounded, because they are like piranhas on a calf's leg here. They are chicken hawks waiting for fresh meat here. And there are members of Congress. Our Congress had a slush fund to pay off women to shut up about being sexually harassed and assaulted by members of Congress. And the bleep train is coming to its final stop. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Here is CBS finally reporting on Eric Swalwell after years of everybody knowing what he did.
Tell anybody for years, out of fear.
What were you afraid of?
Well, at first I thought I was all alone.
Annika Albrecht was still in college when she says she got what she thought was a big break. California Congressman Eric Swalwell offering to stay in touch.
Chicken hawk.
After meeting with her student group in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
He offered to mentor me. Wow. That was as someone who knew.
This is grooming behavior. This is grooming behavior.
Virtually nothing about politics at the time, or no one. That was just an incredibly generous offer that I felt
I just want to help you out.
Very lucky to have.
She says Swalwell created a group chat with all the students and then added her as a friend on the messaging app Snapchat.
Yeah. They're buddies.
And so I asked the other people that were in the meeting, did he add them? And they said no.
Were they all men?
Yes. I was the only woman in the meeting.
She says Swalwell, who was then in his late 30s, started out talking politics, but his messages soon turned flirtatious.
Wow.
Ultimately, it reached a point where he invited me to a hotel to meet him. It was very clear what the connotation was.
CBS is just discovering this. It must have been shocking.
At that point, I completely stopped responding. What I keep thinking back to is how lucky I am that I didn't go to that hotel.
Yeah.
Alisa Marco says she had a similar experience in 2021. She sent Swalwell a supportive message on Twitter. And to her surprise, he messaged right back.
You bet he did.
I was so excited. I was a low-level staffer who had no real political background, and he was this established figure in Democratic politics.
Sure he was.
They began to text, but she says he soon asked if she too was on Snapchat, where messages and photos automatically get deleted.
Yeah, and he was selling he was sending all sorts of different pictures to him. I mean, he was doing all sorts of stuff. And then of course things got a whole lot worse.
I went to the bathroom and I don't remember anything after that.
You don't remember anything?
I remember the next day, I can see flashes of that evening of him on top of me pushing him off, him grabbing me. It was a lot more aggressive. It was aggressive.
Did you say no?
Yes, I said no. In my flash that I can recall, I was pushing him off of me saying no.
And what did he do?
He didn't stop.
He didn't stop. And you woke up the next morning?
I woke up the next morning naked, alone in his hotel room.
Wow. How'd you feel if you were her dad? How would you feel if you were her dad? I'd want to come to Washington, D.C. and cut his nuts off. Oh, I said it! I would, but he's so protected. He's so untouchable as to not being able to even answer questions, let alone have anybody confront him about assaulting their daughter. This is Washington, D.C. Rob Finnerty says that as many as 4 members of Congress could be going bye-bye this week for their scumbaggery.
I think you'll see at least 2, if not 4 members of Congress expelled this week.
Is it going to be Sherflusis McCormick, right?
That's right. Corey Mills will likely have one against them, and then Tony down in Texas.
And then Swalwell. So it'll be...
And then Swalwell, that's right.
That was Congressman Andy Ogles, and he says 4 members of Congress could be expelled from Congress this week, including Eric Swalwell, who announced today, an hour and a half ago, that he's going to be resigning.
Mr. Smith is on life support.
The other is Florida Democrat Sheila McCormick over allegations that she stole federal relief.
Stole lots of money
for her campaign COVID relief money. Florida Republican Corey Mills for sexual misconduct allegations and domestic violence, and Texas Republican Tony Gonzalez, who's married with 6 kids, but had an affair with a Capitol Hill intern who then committed suicide by setting herself on fire.
Wow, it doesn't get much worse than that, does it? It doesn't get more scumbaggy than that. That's the swamp. That's the swamp. That's why you and I are here. That's why we are here. And here is Brian Stelter, who now just has a part-time job, should have no job at all, giving credit to the media. Who did nothing but accept the press release that said that Eric Swalwell was gone because of this, because the Democrat Party decided he was no longer useful. Otherwise, CNN would have never done anything about this. But here's Brian Stelter, after years of allegations with regard to Fang and others. Years of allegations, giving credit to CNN for somehow breaking the story using great investigative reporting.
Yes, dramatic end of the weekend news in California.
Oh my
and a real testament to the power of investigative reporting. Eric Swalwell ending his campaign for California governor just about 48 hours after CNN and the San Francisco Chronicle both reported on allegations of sexual misconduct in his past. Taken together, the stories portrayed an abuse of power by the California congressman, who was, until Friday, a leading contender in the race to replace Gavin Newsom as governor.
Yeah, but of course they still haven't made the correction about lying about Hunter Biden's laptop, the impeachment of Donald Trump, the election of 2020, the origins of COVID, all of these things. But, you know, the Democrat Party has to decide when to give the thumbs up for that stuff to come out. We've got much, much more on this coming up. Also, great news on the economy and inflation. We got our winning jingle ready to go. Your calls are welcome here at 800-922-6680. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson. You know my signature phrase, don't catch the stupid. When it comes to Medicare, that's easier said than done. Medicare is overly complex with thousands of plans, hidden gotchas in the fine print, and rules nobody really explains to you. Many people just pick something and hope for the best. That's why you need to know about Chapter. They're the only advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. When your call with Chapter is done, you know your doctors are covered. Your prescriptions are matched, and you go from, I hope I did this right, to, I know I did. That, my friends, is peace of mind. A call with Chapter is free for my audience, and there's no pressure to sign up. Call Chapter today. Here's the number, 27 Medicare. That's 27 MEDICARE. 27 Medicare for Chapter. No pressure. What's your excuse? Call 27 Medicare and don't catch the stupid yourself. Call 27 Medicare today. This fall, you're invited to experience Washington, D.C. in a truly unforgettable way with me, Rob Carson, and other Newsmax listeners. Imagine strolling through our nation's capital as America celebrates 250 years and seeing history come alive with an expert guide. Together, we'll tour the White House Visitor Center, step into the halls of democracy with a guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building, visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln, and take in the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials with a special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes premium hotel accommodations for 4 nights in the heart of D.C., in addition to 6 meals, ground transportation guides, and gratuities. Space is limited, so don't wait. Visit travelwithrob.net to book your D.C. getaway today, or give our friends at Cruise and Tour a call at 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131, or travelwithrob.net. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the 2 things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat-wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. Or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Listen for the news on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to Newsmax.com/listen for details.
The fact that he has now dropped out of the governor's race and resigned from Congress, is that justice in your view?
Mm-mm. No, it's just the beginning. It's just the very beginning.
Yeah, going to jail.
I know personally that we're not walking away from this fight.
For me, justice won't be until he can't ever harm a woman ever again.
Yeah.
And he has faced the consequences for the women that he has harmed.
Talking about Eric Swalwell, meanwhile, Bill Clinton is perfectly fine. The Democrats party still loves him.
I think in regards to the governor's race, he never should have ran for governor to begin with, knowing
what if Eric Swalwell has a blue dress, or what if one of the girls do?
The kind of history and receipts that are out there. So that's a non-starter. And then in terms of Congress, I think he absolutely should have resigned.
Yep.
I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming people if he were to stay in Congress.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think we have served justice for his future victims.
Wow.
That won't exist anymore.
Yeah, let's hope he looks good in orange. This is Jim Gossett as Bill Clinton.
That creep Eric Swalwell's another Bill Clinton.
Yeah, big time.
For women, we have no respect.
Like a feeding frenzy on Capitol Hill.
His own party turned their backs on him. Swalwell, they did not protect.
Threw him overboard.
'Cause once, twice, 3 times a lady, they accused him. 2, 3, 4 different ladies.
Oh, probably more than that, I'm sure.
He abused them. Abused them.
I know you're as surprised as I am. This happens in Washington, D.C. where they have a slush fund to pay off young women for being sexually harassed and abused by members of Congress. And Congress just voted to keep that silent. We'll get to that shortly. Hopefully that information is going to be coming to the fore. And by the way, it's Republicans and Democrats, and also apparently the girl who videotaped Eric Swalwell with an alleged sex worker, aka hooker, was underage. So there you go. Oh, I hope he enjoys the Stony Lonesome, and I hope that he gets those divorce papers real soon from his wife and mother of 3 children. My God. What the heck? What is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? And then there's this guy, this Stephen Klubeck. He's a billionaire, and he has a girlfriend, a fiance who's an OnlyFans model, and he's just coming to a revelation apparently that Eric Swalwell, who lived in his house, by the way, like what was his name in the OJ trial? Brian, help me out here. The guy, I'm drawing a blank on his name, lived with OJ for a number of years. He was a complete leech. Cato Kalin. Yes, Eric Swalwell is the Cato Kalin. Couldn't remember the damn name. That's a brain fart. Like the fart that Eric Swalwell let out during that interview that everybody's been playing. Billionaire Stephen Klubeck, who's apparently without a clue, former major donor of Eric Swalwell, says he's leaving the Democrat Party after leaked videos of sexual misconduct allegations came out. And here's the story actually, I'll just go ahead and play the uncensored, it's censored, but the audio of this guy who had Eric Swalwell living with him, was engaged to an OnlyFans model, and had no idea that Eric Swalwell was such a scumbag.
Of the United States. We deserve equal or greater value.
And he also acts like maybe he may have had a few drinks before the interview.
Value for our tax dollars. All right?
Fair,
is it fair enough?
Yeah, I was going to say fair to say you're mad. I mean...
Mad?
Yeah.
I am no longer a Democrat. I'm now a libertarian Republican. Because that's what a blue dog Democrat used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's
more of a blue ball Democrat now. What? Sorry,
executing, being accountable,
Yeah.
enforcing,
Sure.
respect, responsibility, and results.
He's trying to create some distance.
Knowing what your job description is.
Yeah.
Delivering results. Unifying. Making this country great. The great brand we have, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or we used to.
Sure. You know, it is amazing. This man is such a fine and upstanding citizen who allowed Eric Swalwell to live with him. Is just discovering this. My God, what a great liar that Eric Swalwell must be.
Can we get it together, please?
Yeah.
Can we get it together, please? And you know what? When I ran for the governorship, I did because I couldn't find a candidate that was worthy.
Yeah, he did run for governor.
To back.
But he was engaged to an OnlyFans model.
And I thought Eric had the goods.
Yeah, I thought he had the goods. Sure.
But he'd tell the truth.
Yeah.
Okay?
Do you like any of these other options?
Too early to tell.
Yeah, Katie Porter, dear God. Woof. That's your choice out there in California, Katie Porter. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. She's unbelievable. Here's Nancy Pelosi, San Fran Nan. And she says that as the speaker of the House and everything, presiding over everything, she had no clue that Eric Swalwell was such a scumbag. Actually, I got to save this. I hate to do this to you. I got to save this soundbite because we're coming up against a break here. But I'm going to share that on the other side of the break. Then we're going to hear from Anna Paulina Luna about all the other stuff that's going on there. Nancy Mace in Congress, who's a victim of a sexual assault herself. Both of them are on the warpath for these scumbags in Congress, and some names hopefully are going to be coming out about all of the things they've done to young women on Capitol Hill. Honestly, can you just grow up, be adults, and just lead the country and do what's right? Can you just be Mr. Smith and not, Mr. Scumbag? Anyway, we're going to take a break and come back. More of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. GhostBed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my GhostBed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about GhostBed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. GhostBed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new GhostBed. Hey guys, it's Carson. If you are on Medicare or about to be, you could be overpaying right now and never know it. Here's why. Millions of seniors are in a plan that doesn't fit their needs. Because Medicare is complicated, many brokers just steer people into plans that pay them the most. That's absurd. That is so absurd, I decided to write a little slogan for it. Medicare sure ain't fair, and choosing a plan is a bear. Pick a plan with a broker if you dare, and you might end up with a scare. Okay, listen, it's a little rough. You need to know about Chapter. They're the only national advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. With Chapter, you'll see what a plan actually costs when you need it, not just the $0 some plans advertise. Your doctors are covered and your prescriptions are too. You'll have confidence you have the coverage you need. A call with Chapter is free, takes about 20 minutes. If you're turning 65 or already on Medicare, call 27 Medicare. Again, that's 27 MEDICARE. Call 27 Medicare today. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Ethos. I've worked very hard to get where I am today. I want the best for my kids. Both of my kids got kind of kicked in the teeth from COVID protocols. My son missed 2 years of college, my daughter high school. A good deal of their lives will be spent making up for time away from classes and friends. When I'm gone, I want them to be able to live a great life and have kids. That's why I have life insurance. This is why you need to purchase life insurance from Ethos. Ethos helps provide financial security. Ethos protects your loved ones. In as little as 10 minutes, you can have life insurance. For me, it was almost instant. All you have to do is answer a few health questions online to get the ball rolling. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes. Go to ethos.com/Newsmax. That's the code, ethos.com/Newsmax. Application times and rates may vary. That's ethos.com/Newsmax. Nancy Pelosi, as the Speaker of the House, had no idea about all the allegations of sexual misconduct by Eric Swalwell, even though everybody else did. And 50 people have come out and said, oh, yeah, he did this. Here is the Speaker of the House, supposed to be the most plugged-in person in Washington, D.C., admitting she's gobsmacked.
Some Republicans and others are saying that Democrats turned kind of a blind eye, that they knew what he was up to.
No, that's not true.
No.
Absolutely positive. It's true that they may say that.
Bill Clinton never slept with anybody either.
It is absolutely not.
You had no idea.
None.
Jeffrey Epstein is perfectly fine.
Whatsoever. None whatsoever. I had none whatsoever.
What happens in California now?
Here's maybe why Eric Swalwell was exposed.
Was in many of the polls the leading candidate.
Yes, he was.
That's gone. There's an army of candidates out there. Yeah. And California has this quirky law, because it's ranked primaries, right, where you could end up with 2 Republicans on the ballot.
Well, it is.
How does that?
I agree that it is a quirky law. I do not agree that there'll be 2 Republicans at the top.
Yeah, because he was polling third, and he was not going to go any higher than that as long as he was in the race. So they had to get rid of him. So then you could have the potato and the other moron, Tom Steyer, as the candidates, and possibly have a Democrat versus a Republican in the election versus 2 Republicans who are going to win. It's kind of that way. It's kind of weird. Also, who the heck else would have seen that Eric Swalwell was such a scumbag?
Little respected, lightweight Representative Eric Swalwell.
Oh, this is Donald Trump in 2023.
Was just kicked off the Intelligence Committee for reasons of integrity and lack of intelligence, and for having the poor judgment of dating and falling desperately in love with a Chinese spy.
Who was that? Yeah.
Fang.
Yeah.
This idiot of a congressman is now calling for publicity purposes only for some great American patriots, including me, to be banned from the United States Capitol.
That's
building.
true. Yeah, he did. He tried to do that.
Fortunately, people understand that Swalwell is a lowlife not respected by anybody.
Have you ever noticed that there's so many people doing impressions of Donald Trump that now Donald Trump kind of sounds like an impression of Donald Trump? Because everybody's got him down so much. My friend Sean Ferris has him down so much. When you hear Donald Trump now, you think you're hearing an impression of Donald Trump. But he says it right, man. I mean, he says it right. Here is my buddy Mike Davis over at Article 3 Project talking to Will Cain about Eric Swalwell.
I remember Eric Swalwell when I was the staff leader on the Senate Judiciary Committee going after Justice Kavanaugh with bogus, unsubstantiated allegations from 35 years ago.
Yeah, it's some sort of a party that what's-her-name didn't know where she was at or what year it was.
And while he was doing this, Swalwell had his own clear problems with women. This guy is a hypocritical scumbag, and the reason the Democrats who have known about this for many years are turning against Swalwell now is simply because there's a chance a Republican could win in California. So they are throwing them overboard to make way for Democrats.
Wow.
Right. This is not new. People have known.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it's all about. Left wing. That's what it is all about. And, and to just make it even more scummy, are you ready for this? I mean, this is sociopathic. You to be a father of 3, and you got a wife, and you're banging everything with 2 legs and a nina in Washington, D.C., and before the State of the Union this year, he said he was going to bring an Epstein survivor to the State of the Union.
Why aren't you talking about Epstein more?
I'm bringing an Epstein survivor to the State of the Union.
You're bringing one of yours.
Are you?
On Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's really important to me, and you don't have to be a father of a little girl to care about.
Oh boy. I mean, I'm a father of a now big girl, and what?
I am a father of a little girl,
right.
And it is really important to me. It's not just.
It's like having Jeffrey Dahmer as your dad.
A document or documents. It's kind of a final exam for our democracy, because these are the most powerful people in the world who exploited little girls. And if justice...
What? Did you just hear what he said?
...doesn't come, I don't care what party you're in, if justice doesn't come for what you did...
I agree completely. You got to go to jail.
Then we've failed as a democracy.
Okay. Do you think that you can put together any kind of outside oversight committee where you're involving people with professions like mine doctors in forensic psychology, specialists in offenders and psychopaths, where we can look at the files and help, because we don't have political bias.
We should, and I'll tell the leadership, on our side, because I know when I was a part of the Russia investigation in 2017,
which was a lie,
Adam Schiff and I and others were going to outside experts to understand money.
Honestly, I've enjoyed this conversation there, Miss. But maybe we could meet at the hotel later and discuss some of the story ideas that I have and some information. What do you say? Get on Snapchat with me? Oh my God! Wow! I gotta tell you, Anna Paulina Luna, who's pretty amazing. I met her the other day. I was at the Capitol. She's a diminutive little person. She's little. I could carry on her baby Bjorn on the front of my chest. And she had her 2 kids, and she was going through security to leave the building, and her son didn't want to go through security. It was really funny to watch APL and her and her husband, and this kid's like, I don't want to. It was just hilarious to see. But anyway, that's beside the point. APL was talking about some sordid details about Eric Swalwell. There is a video out that shows him making out with a hooker, allegedly, on a bed, and there was an underage girl running the camera.
Yeah, he did have a reputation, and as you know, Jesse, I was actually the member of Congress that wrote the expulsion resolution for him, and I was ready to call it up and did tell him that if he did not resign by tomorrow, that it would be filed, and we did have the votes to expel him from Congress. So what I will say is that many people on the Hill knew about this. Many reporters have
I'll bet you even old Nancy Pelosi did.
Forward, even in talking to me, saying that they had heard stories about this. But I do think that he has serious criminal problems on his hand, and I do think that he might end up in jail, Jesse. And if I could just share with you for a moment.
He'll be real popular.
Not only did I receive forensic reporting showing that, that infamous video of him in the hotel room was indeed him. It was not AI generated. But I'm also being told that, more stuff is going to be dropping in the next 24 hours. And then also potentially the individual that recorded that video in that hotel room, Jesse, was a female and she was underage.
Wow. That is not, wow. He's going to be spending some time in the Stony Lonesome. Here's APL saying that it wasn't just Democrats. There's a whole lot of scumbaggery on the GOP side, too.
I don't know why they didn't push this further. I think that there's a lot of kind of back scratching taking place on the Hill in general, because it's happening within our own party as well. But yes, they knew about it. They did not report on it. And you're seeing now that, I don't know about you, Jesse, but I don't have 50 staffers, let alone 50.
Obviously, she's talking to Jesse Waters. I'll just say that.
Staffers that would come out and say
give the man some credit,
that this is wrong and that you need to resign from office, right? So it was clearly a pattern. And as you're seeing with some of the text messages coming out, and I think, again, with this criminal investigation, there's a lot there with him. So, yes, he resigned, I think, to maybe save his family going through this. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when he did what he decided to do, just based on the grounds of him having an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. But now we're looking at the criminal activity, and I stand by what I said because I saw, again, the forensics report of that video. And if that is true, I would suggest that the Manhattan DA look into that.
100%. And also the people who cover these people up. Your elected representatives, they're supposed to be going to Washington, D.C., and they're going to change the law, and they're going to make life better for you. But all they do is enrich themselves, get drunk. I hear during the State of the Union, the booze, you could almost light the air on fire, the booze in the air over there. I mean, there are good people in Washington, D.C., don't get me wrong, but there are a whole lot of scumbags. Here's APL talking about the slush fund, your tax money being used to pay off young women to shut up for being abused by members of Congress.
Yeah, they do. That's the Congressional Slush Fund. Actually, Representative Mace had made the motion to release all those files. I voted for it. A majority of members of Congress actually referred it to ethics, which we could talk about separately. They need to overhaul. But ultimately, in House oversight, we actually did vote to subpoena those records, and we'll be releasing them because the American people...
what's really bad is that women in Congress covered this up too.
Should know, if you're voting for someone that's guilty of sexual harassment to where they have to settle it with a victim, but then also do you really think your taxpayer dollars should be going to that? And the answer is no. And what's even crazier, Jesse, is that the Democrats in the Swalwell case said you can't run for governor, but you can still serve in Congress, of which that's why I brought up the expulsion resolution. And so we played 5D chess on that one, but we're glad he's out.
Yeah, and they let him run for president too. They let him run for president. Okay, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Throughout his time in Congress, Eric Swalwell, who's both a friend and a classmate, has been a champion for the rule of law, a champion of accountability, champion of free and fair elections, and a champion of the American way of life. Eric Swalwell is the son of a police officer, comes from a law enforcement family, has a distinguished track record.
Well, that's awesome because he's going to be arrested soon.
As a prosecutor, Eric Swalwell knows what it means to actually advocate for law and order.
Wow, that is Hakeem Jeffries last fall. The Democrat Party would tongue kiss Hitler if Hitler helped him out. I mean, honestly, you know, the reason why I tell you this, I said that we needed a baptism by fire in this country to survive another 250 years. We've been here 250 years. We're in our 250th year. And look at what has been revealed about our country. Look at the scumbaggery. Look at the filth and the corruption. Look at the fact that the Democrat Party increased the size of the federal government 40% during using COVID, which they released on the country and paid for it, never held the Chinese Communist Party accountable, and then just looted the treasury. I mean, just looted the treasury. So I always say the left exposes its flanks so we can kick its butt. And look what we're learning. Look what we're learning. This is the accountability that we have been asking for. This is the moment we know what has been happening here. And this is the moment we begin to turn things around. I told you the Democrat Party is on a death spiral into hell. They die like movie vampires, scratching, clawing, trying to drag us into hell with them. And we're not going. Here is Adam Schiff giving Eric Swalwell a tongue bath in February of this year.
As I said, if you've just joined or you're came in late, Senator Adam Schiff.
And by the way, Eric loves those tongue baths.
A friend, a partner, endorsing our campaign.
Well, first of all, let me say how proud I am to support you, Eric. And, you know, before you got into the...
We had no idea about all the sexual assault allegations or anything that everybody knew about.
It's fully my intention to probably stay out of the race. A lot of friends are running. A lot of very, capable people are in this field who, I have great respect for. But
as soon as you are no longer electable, I'm going to throw you right overboard.
A couple things that compelled me. One is that when you got in the race, here was somebody that I'd worked with for over a decade, who I had seen stand up to Donald Trump and stand up to all his MAGA allies, no matter what they threw at you, Eric.
They lie and create the Russia collusion hoax and impeach him for nonsense. We got details on that coming up. Adam Schiff could be going to jail soon, too.
And they're attacking you again now. Because they fear that you'll be successful in this race, and they don't want a powerful person in the governor's office once again to stand up to this president.
Yeah, well, he's done. He's toast. He's histoire, as Rush used to say. He's histoire, is what Rush used to say. Here's Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is awesome. And on the list, the top 10 podcasts for news commentary in America, he's like number 4, and I'm number 10. I know, I'm number 10. Here's Glenn Beck.
More than 50 former staffers more than 50 former staffers have claimed shocking sexual assault allegations against Eric Swalwell.
Complete surprise to Nancy Pelosi.
And now the media says that they are credible and serious. 50. How did you keep that a secret?
I don't know.
Answer? It wasn't a secret.
No.
Everybody knew.
Duh.
Absolutely everybody knew. The left knew.
Yep.
The press knew.
Yep.
But he was useful. He was useful.
Yes.
He could help them accomplish other goals.
That's
and
true.
the minute he became not so useful, in fact, he was standing in the way. Soon as he became number 3 in the California polls, where number 1 and number 2 are 2 Republicans, and then Eric Swalwell, they knew he can't win. We got to get him out of there. So immediately, oh, wait a minute, we should start listening and believing these women.
Yes.
This is a coordinated hit.
Hashtag me too.
You can be a monster.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that's running for the Senate?
Graham Plattner.
Who has the SS tattoo on his chest. You can be a monster, and they'll excuse you.
That's true.
As long as you're furthering their agenda and they need you. The minute they don't need you, you're toast.
Graham Plattner, far-left Democrat running for U.S. Senate in Maine, recently appeared with journalists. I'm sorry, I can't say Major Garrett and journalist in the same sentence here. Major Garrett used to work for Fox News, doing his very best to help Plattner in this interview, even though Plattner has a Nazi tattoo on his chest and apparently has put all sorts of comments online on Reddit about being a Nazi. But he has a chance of winning because he's polling well. So listen to this, and then listen to this, and this guy just looks terrifying. He looks like somebody you'd see on America's Most Wanted. Major Garrett spoon-feeding this guy, and then him, are you ready for this? Blaming the military for his Nazism.
Graham, there have been a lot of things said about you, things you have written on Reddit, a tattoo you had and a controversy around that. And I want to ask you this.
The Nazi tattoo you got there.
Because I don't think it's been put to you this way before.
Most of us don't get Nazi tattoos on us unless we're Nazis.
Is there anything you've done or said that you regret that did not come from the stresses you internalized from post-traumatic stress?
Yeah, it's PTSD is why I got a Nazi tattoo. You hear that, you guys, with PTSD? Yeah.
That is to say,
it's an insult.
Is PTSD the explanation for everything? Or did you also just make some additional human errors that you want to explain or contextualize?
Or you're just a Nazi?
Yeah, I'll be upfront. I've never laid the entire fault of my previous opinions at earlier parts of my life at the feet of only post-traumatic stress. I mean, when I left the military, I came out of a hyper-masculine, hyper-violent place. I did 4 tours in the infantry.
There you go. So he's blaming it on the military and PTSD. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. I saw the clock. Oh, my God.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them.
All right, I got to talk to my streamers. Hi, streamers. How are you? What a show, huh? What a show. What a day. Yesterday was amazing when I got the top 10 list of podcasts in America. Because I knew what I wanted to do when I came to Washington, D.C., and now going on 8 months ago, I put all my belongings into a U-Haul and put it on the back of my truck and drove 18 hours across the country, found an apartment, moved into a space, had to buy all furniture because I left the other stuff there. I didn't want the memories. And then built this studio. And that process took a year. That process took a year to make that decision. And, I would feel lonely, but I know you guys are here. So that helped. But yesterday was so overwhelming to see that we're players. We're in this now. That there are other people, that there are people who are in the blogosphere, in political commentary, who have been in the business, Glenn Beck for 25 years, got a 25-year head start on me. Tucker Carlson, 25-year head start. Megyn Kelly, 25-year head start. I was selling cars 6 years ago, and now I'm top 10 because of you guys. And we're going to number one. And we're doing it with connection and content and comedy. That's how we're doing it. All right. Time to talk. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be up front. I've never laid the entire fault of my previous opinions at earlier parts of my life at the feet of only post-traumatic stress. I mean, when I left the military, I came out of a hyper-masculine, hyper-violent place. I did 4 tours in the infantry.
Yeah, it's called the infantry. It's called the friggin' military, you fool.
We have a crude sense of humor in the infantry.
Yeah, because we like to be Nazis.
We certainly have I would say, narrow view of a lot of time.
Wow, he's this guy, Graham Plattner, running for Senate. He cannot become a senator. He's a scumbag supreme. Blaming his PTSD, his Nazism on PTSD, and then claiming the military is responsible for it. He is not an honorable man. What an insult to all of you who have suffered. Maybe you have PTSD. Maybe you had a friend come home in a casket with a flag on top of it. Wow. That's your Democrat Party. My gosh, that is your Democrat Party. Hey, I want to tell you something right now that you can get into my ghost bed. Your daughter, your intern daughter, could get in my ghost bed, and all she's going to get is a good night's sleep. Because I'm not talking about my actual ghost bed. I'm talking about you order my bed from Ghost Bed, and you're going to sleep like you wouldn't believe. There you go. Buy one for your daughter. There you go. Buy one for yourself. Because all you're going to get is a good night's sleep. Don't get in Eric Swalwell's ghost bed. Do not do that. Get in mine. I love it. I got to tell you, it keeps you cool when it's hot. It keeps you warm when it's cold. It sleeps beautifully. This morning I slept till 6:47. Normally I get up at 5 and then 2 midnight. I have a glass of milk. Try to go to sleep. Doesn't work. My ghost bed. I love it. I love it. You will too. It's easy to remember, ghostbed.com/Carson, 10% off already low prices. It's going to cost you a lot less than the mattress and box springs or those other beds that you see out there in the brick and mortar bed, sales, whatever, shops and all that. You're going to love it. It's American made. Ghostbed.com/Carson. Ghostbed.com/Carson. Order my bed, will ya? All right, there you go. Coming up, Donald Trump kicking butt in Iran, and Iran is collapsing. Also, the good news on the economy, inflation has not trickled down to you and me because of the conflict in Iran, freeing all those people and everything. Let's take a break and come back. This, my friends, is the Rob Carson Show.
about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 2 of the radio program and top 10 political commentary podcast in America, following Dan Bongino. And, well, I don't think Tucker Carlson's going to be up there much longer. But, Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro, who Brian, my producer, said fits in 3 times the words in a show that most broadcasters do. All worthy opponents, and certainly to breathe the rare air of this top 10 list is pretty awesome. I found out about it yesterday, so you guys made this possible. I want to say I appreciate you so much. The weather forecast in Washington, D.C. is unseasonably warm, but in Eric Swalwell's world, there's a 100% chance of a bleep storm.
My name is Lana Drews. In 2018, while I was living and working as a model in
This is on John Bachman Dow on Newsmax.
Beverly Hills, and I also owned a fashion software company.
Yeah.
I had contact with Eric Swalwell on 3 separate occasions after meeting him socially.
Yeah.
He offered me connections to further my software company.
Yeah, it's called grooming.
And I also had an interest in local politics.
Of course you did.
He invited me to 2 public events.
Yeah? I'll bet you a hotel room was next.
I knew he was married at the time and that his wife was pregnant.
Yeah.
He was my friend.
Sure.
On the 3rd occasion, I believe he drugged my drink. I only had 1 glass of wine. We were supposed to go to a political event, and he said he needed to get paperwork from his hotel.
Better believe all women, hashtag me too and everything.
Room. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated, and I couldn't move my arms or my body.
Nancy Pelosi must be going, my gosh, I had no idea.
He raped me, and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness. And I thought I died.
And the Democrat Party was fine with him being a presidential candidate a couple years ago and a candidate for governor until yesterday. He's going to go to jail. Wow. That is just now on Newsmax, by the way. I got to tell you, it is... this is just shocking to the core, not surprising, unfortunately. But again, this is the 250th anniversary of the birth of this nation. A man who the swamp went after, tried to put in jail. Now we know exactly what happened with the impeachment. It was a lie. Adam Schiff was involved, and Donald Trump, by God, actually ended up being the president, because you and I never gave up. You and I knew it was wrong. We knew that when they called what we believed misinformation and disinformation, we knew it was the truth. I told you that when it was happening. When they call what you believe misinformation or disinformation, it means they know you know the truth, and we were right, and we were right, and we were right. And now, to survive another 250 years, this republic had to have a baptism by fire, and the fuse was lit in November of 2024. Here is John Solomon talking about the impeachment of Donald Trump for nothing, with hearsay evidence involving a phone call to a Ukrainian. And now Donald Trump has the possibility to demand that his impeachment be vacated.
Just a little bit ago, the president retweeted one of my stories with an admonition to the great Harvard law professor, Alan Dershowitz. You should go do this. What is he talking about? Last night, here on Real America's Voice, Alan Dershowitz suggested that the president now had the legal right to go to either the Chief Justice of the United States John Roberts, who presided over the impeachment proceedings of 2019, ordered Congress and asked Congress, you ready for this, to vacate, to erase his impeachment because of the evidence that Tulsi Gabbard has now made public of cheating. What is that cheating? They knew President Trump's chief accuser, the alleged whistleblower, the guy who filed that complaint in August of 2019, had, one, misled the intelligence community in his complaint, two, had serious issues of bias, and three, knew nothing firsthand. Everything was hearsay, first, second, and third hearsay. Those three elements were kept from the president's defense team, the Senate jurors, the House impeachment managers. Alan Dershowitz said, hey, when this happens in a criminal case, it's a Brady violation. They usually vacate the conviction. I think the president can go and vacate this impeachment fine.
Now, we have been going through this for years. For a decade, we've been going through this nonsense. They came up with Russia collusion hoax, December of 2015. It was presented to Barack Obama that there was no Russia collusion, and he said, tear that up, make it look like there was actually Russia collusion. When that didn't work, then they decided to do an impeachment based on nothing. And it went on and on and on. And then when he decided to run again, they came up with 4 political cases against him, 34 felony counts based on nothing. When that didn't work, they tried to take him off the ballot, and when that didn't work, they tried to kill him. And he raised his fist into the air, and he said, fight, fight, fight. For the first time in world history, a leader, a candidate, nearly assassinated, raised his fist to the sky and said, fight, fight, fight. And the next day, the media blamed it on his rhetoric. But you and I never gave up, did we? No, we did not. We did not. Back to the case of Eric Swalwell, who is going to go to prison. He's going to go to prison for what he has done. His family, he destroyed his family. He lied to his wife and children, and they will never know him as a free man. Here is Nancy Mace talking last night. She is actually a victim of sexual assault, of a rape, and she became a member of Congress, and she's had to watch all of this nonsense. Can you even imagine? With the PTSD that she might have, knowing that the people on Capitol Hill lie about this. Young women go to Washington, D.C. and are victimized because there are men who are their father's age saying, hey, you know what, I can help you move up in this town. I've got a lot of connections. And these girls wide-eyed think, oh my God, I finally got the opportunity. I'm going to live my dream. And then they are discarded like trash after they're used by these men. Here is Nancy Mace talking about the slush fund that Congress uses our tax money to pay off young women who have been abused by members of Congress so they'll shut up.
Yes, up until 2018, there was a slush fund that taxpayers paid for that could settle disputes and harassment, sexual harassment by members of Congress and their employees or other Hill staffers, for example. And it's been hidden from the public. I've subpoenaed for those records. I have not gotten them yet, but I subpoenaed them through the Oversight Committee. As you know, I tried to do that resolution a few weeks ago, and that failed on the House floor. And so now what will happen is before that information is public, you'll often see a member of Congress resign. But we need to shine light on this to see who's paid out money and protect the victims at the same time, which is what I've done in my subpoena and in my resolution. I protected the personally
I want our money back.
Identifying information of the victims, which every member of Congress that voted against me lied. Every Republican and every Democrat that voted against my measure to expose all of this lied. But as a survivor myself, I've always protected other survivors. And I want that information out there about who's used the slush fund, how much money was paid out, and which member of Congress was guilty.
Yeah, and then boot their rear ends completely the hell out of Congress. Here's Nancy Mace talking about the stories that she heard.
When I started to hear stories last year, I didn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way that this kind of thing is going on.
Talking about Eric Swalwell, Nancy Pelosi had no clue. She was gobsmacked. She just found out yesterday.
And then all of a sudden, we start to see evidence, stories start to hit the papers, text messages, pictures, videos, all this. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, the videos are coming and they're going to make you sick.
Not that I'm naive to it. I'm very attuned to predators.
And they've always been there. They've always been there. The evidence was there. The media ignored it. Both parties ignored it. The Democrat Party ignored it until he was no longer useful.
It's just like these people are.
They would have had him be the governor of California and know all of this was happening.
Are elected. They have hundreds of thousands of people that instill their trust in them. They represent you in Congress. And this is their behavior in their off time. Like I am perplexed by it. I'm baffled by it.
I know.
But it's just more convincing that that people are addicted to power and they're addicted to money and they're addicted to an abuse of power. I'm like, I can't even. I'm stunned and I'm shocked at the stupidity of these people, and they got to go.
What did I tell you? Overwhelm them with joy and patriotism and faith. We're going to win. The Democrat Party is not going to win the midterms. They have no reason to be able to win the midterms. They are on the wrong side of history. They are on the wrong side of morality. They are on the wrong side of God. All of these things. And you have to stay focused and positive and motivated, because we are going to cleanse this country, this government, of the filth and return to the dream that was the founding, that made us the greatest engine of individual and economic freedom in the history of mankind. We just annihilated Iran, a force for evil in the world. We did it in 6 weeks. We sent astronauts to the other side of the moon, the furthest from Earth, after we played golf on the moon 47 years ago. They returned safely. They thanked God and Jesus Christ for delivering them there. We are a great country, and we are going to cleanse this country and get back to what we're possible. We are going to make America great again. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Deported. 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 Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Hey guys, it's Carson. If you are on Medicare or about to be, you could be overpaying right now and never know it. Here's why. Millions of seniors are in a plan that doesn't fit their needs. Because Medicare is complicated, many brokers just steer people into plans that pay them the most. That's absurd. That is so absurd, I decided to write a little slogan for it. Medicare sure ain't fair, and choosing a plan is a bear. Pick a plan with a broker if you dare, and you might end up with a scare. Okay, listen, it's a little rough. You need to know about Chapter. They're the only national advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. With Chapter, you'll see what a plan actually costs when you need it, not just the $0 some plans advertise. Your doctors are covered and your prescriptions are too. You'll have confidence you have the coverage you need. A call with Chapter is free, takes about 20 minutes. If you're turning 65 or already on Medicare, call 27 Medicare. Again, that's 27 MEDICARE. Call 27 Medicare today. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Ethos. I've worked very hard to get where I am today. I want the best for my kids. Both of my kids got kind of kicked in the teeth from COVID protocols. My son missed 2 years of college, my daughter high school. A good deal of their lives will be spent making up for time away from classes and friends. When I'm gone, I want them to be able to live a great life and have kids. That's why I have life insurance. This is why you need to purchase life insurance from Ethos. Thank you.
Relentlessly slowing the spread of the stupid every day. It's the Rob Carson Show.
You know, you're hearing all this nonsense about Capitol Hill and Eric Swalwell and young women. I couldn't help but think of this scene from 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton.
So, you've been telling everybody I'm sleeping with you, huh?
No.
Well, that explains it. That's why these people treat me like some dime store floozy.
No,
they think I'm screwing the boss.
That's not it at all.
Oh, and you just love it, don't you? It gives you some sort of cheap thrill, like knocking over pencils and picking up.
Eric Swalwell actually just forced him to have sex, though.
Hey,
now, let's don't get excited.
Get your scummy hands off of me. Look, I've been straight with you from the first day I got here, and I put up with all your pinching and staring and chasing me around the desk because I need this job, but this is the last straw.
All right, now wait. Let's just sit down and...
Look, I got a gun out there in my purse,
Yeah.
and up to now I've been forgiven and forgetting because of the way I was brought up, but I'll tell you one thing.
What's that?
If you ever say another word about me or make another indecent proposal, I'm going to get that gun of mine, and I'm going to change you from a rooster to a hen with one shot.
Boom, there you go. That scene has been going through my head. Maybe it's time we had some congressmen turn from roosters into hen on Capitol Hill. How about that? You suppose that would knock off this crap? I think it probably would. make some roosters into hens. Although, roosters can identify as hens, and they can be born a hen to become a rooster, and they be born a hen, and they and become whatever the hell. They might be non-binary chickens. I don't even know what's going on. But there you go. Maybe it's time we made some roosters into hens. I'm thinking that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Oh, by the way, when the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Can you imagine that if it was $35 an ounce? I'd have a wading pool full of gold coins. I'd be rolling around in it like Richie Rich, for God's sake. It would be incredible. But unfortunately, the dollar has lost 85% of its purchasing power. Gold has increased 12,000% because they printed money and destroyed the economy and made everything expensive. That's what your government does. Central banks are buying gold. Large firms like Vanguard, BlackRock have a lot of gold. You maybe should consider getting gold. And here's the deal. Birch Gold is going to just educate you about gold. Yeah. You're going to get an education. You won't even graduate with student debt. An online event called Learn and Earn. So the free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up and get free silver on your next purchase. Get the larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you earn. But you got to act now because it's going to end in, what the heck? It's already It's the 14th in 16 days. Text my name, Rob, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals events by April 30th. Text Rob to 989898 today. So, it looks like that Donald Trump's brilliant move, and I mean honestly, blockading Iran after destroying their military-industrial complex in 6 weeks. That certainly garners the 25th Amendment. Donald Trump needs to be removed from office because he has dementia. Or maybe they're just full of crap. Here's CNN admitting that it's working.
At the same time, the numbers that you laid out, Iran has about, $280 million a day of export that goes out of the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. About $160 million in import that comes back a day. So you're cutting that out. And if that is not happening, then what's going to happen? Iran's going to have to store its oil that is extracting on offshore storage facilities or on tankers. And, I think within 13, 14, 2 weeks, Iran's going to run out of the ability to store oil. And then they're going to have to drop their extraction, which is going to pose a permanent long-term damage to its ability.
There you go. Brilliant move by Donald Trump, the guy who, of course, the Democrats say has dementia, but they also say that Eric Swalwell is a really decent guy who, certainly would never do anything with women, with young women, like, I don't know, drug them and sexually assault them. There's that. There is that. Wow. You know what I think we need? I think we need some good news. How about that? Let's do some good news. I'm going to get back to the what's going on in Iran, because we are kicking butt and taking names, and most of those names are Muhammad. Here is your favorite jingle on the Rob Carson Show, the winning jingle.
We love to win. Winning, so much winning. It's lots of winning. Lots of winning. So good.
So, of course, the Democrat Party and some news networks on the radio that exist that I won't mention, they're trying to make it act like, oh my God, the inflation's going to go up because of the Iran conflict and all of this. Turns out wholesale prices rose 0.5% in March, much less than anticipated.
Strip out food and energy up 1/10.
Wow.
We're expecting a number closer to 0.5% higher. So that's nice. Oh, revisions coming in. This number moves from 0.5 to 0.3.
Wow.
0.1 would be the lightest going back to August of last year.
Well, that, even with the conflict where we took the Ayatollah out of power and we're going to free the Iranian people,
we would be in November equaling 1/10 last year. Ex food, energy, and trade, that comes in up 2/10, half of what we were expecting.
Well, that is not the doom and gloom that the liberal media has been saying. Here's Maria Bartiromo. Apparently that conflict is not trickling down to you and me.
These are fantastic numbers, Cheryl. Look at this report, because what we're seeing is it has not trickled down fully to the producer, which is good news, because maybe they're not going to pass it on to the consumer for the next report. But great reporting, Cheryl. We got a rally on stocks. These numbers are much better than expected.
Yeah, I told you. Just stay positive. Be ready to fight. Don't get me wrong. Stay positive. Get ready to fight. But overwhelm them with joy and patriotism and faith. Here is the audio from the NASA astronauts being welcomed when they sent that boat out there and they opened the capsule that had landed, the Artemis. I want you to listen to this, because this is good news. See, because America is great. It is magnificent. We played golf on the moon 47 years ago. We just went back, flew around it, saw the side of the moon that Pink Floyd made the best album in the history of mankind about, and here is the rescue. You streamers can see it. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
It's just beautiful. Just beautiful.
Yeah. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so proud of my country, my military, my president. You guys can live in darkness. You Democrats live in darkness and hate and envy and scowling.
Fort Greene.
I'm not going there.
Ike, welcome home.
Will not be a part of it.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Jeremy.
High fives all around.
Welcome home, brother.
Wow.
Reid. What's up? Welcome home, brother.
Welcome home, brother. There you go. That's USA, baby, right there. That is just a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. On the other side of the break, Emily Sturge, campus reform. Some unbelievable stories, including Anthony Fauci been invited to be graduation speaker and given an honorary degree. Yeah, I know. That's coming up. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Ethos. I've worked very hard to get where I am today. I want the best for my kids. Both of my kids got kind of kicked in the teeth from COVID protocols. My son missed 2 years of college, my daughter high school. A good deal of their lives will be spent making up for time away from classes and friends. When I'm gone, I want them to be able to live a great life and have kids. That's why I have life insurance. This is why you need to purchase life insurance from Ethos. Ethos helps provide financial security. Ethos protects your loved ones. In as little as 10 minutes, you can have life insurance. For me, it was almost instant. All you have to do is answer a few health questions online to get the ball rolling. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes. Go to ethos.com/Newsmax. That's the code, ethos.com/Newsmax. Application times and rates may vary. That's ethos.com/Newsmax. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. GhostBed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my GhostBed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about GhostBed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. GhostBed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new GhostBed.
TDS, James Covell has TDS. Will I land in a psych ward? That is anybody's guess. It's for sure, I'm insane. I really can't explain why for Donald Trump I have so much disdain. I'm as crazy as a loon. I'm gonna crack up soon. It's expanding like a big balloon. It's gotten even worse. It's gonna be my curse. TDS, TDS, TDS. TDS, TDS. Is it derangement? I say yes. Whenever Trump is mentioned, I become a giant mess. He causes me such pain, pain I can't contain. Of my existence, he has been a bane, like Ellen and Rosie. In our brain, he lives rent-free, driven me as crazy as can be. It's something I can't shake. How much more can I take? TDS, TDS, TDS.
Lack of production.
It is a Rob Carson show. It's already the 14th of April. My gosh. Tomorrow's tax day, isn't it? Yeah, I got to have a talk with the IRS tomorrow. Yeah, things went a little haywire last year, with divorce and everything. And so we got to talk. We got to have a little talk. We got to have a little talk tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to that. I got to strung them a check or postpone or something, whatever. Anyway, send money. I need help. Anyway, let's move on. We're expecting a call from Emily Sturge from Campus Report, so we're hoping to get a hold of her in a second. I do want to mention something. The trip to Washington D.C. is coming up October 25th through the 29th, and the more I realize where we are as a country and where we are, you and me are. After what we've been through, how glorious this is that we're doing this. I was asked by Cruise and Tour, would you like to do a trip with listeners? And they said, we can go to Greece, we can go to Ireland, or we can go to, Switzerland or whatever. But we could go to D.C., but you live there. You don't want to do that. I said, oh, hell yes, I want that. I want nothing more. I want nothing more than a trip to D.C. for you guys. Oh, my God. How serendipitous is this? A trip to D.C. when I first moved here. Oh, my gosh. So here's what's going on. It is 5 days, 4 nights, staying in the heart of D.C., going to go to the White House Visitor Center, going to go tour the U.S. Capitol, go to Arlington National Cemetery, see the changing of the guard, and you better bring some tissues, people, because it is something else. Stand in awe before the towering figure of Abraham Lincoln, look down the reflecting peel of the pool to the Washington Monument. Go see the glorious war memorials. Not only Vietnam. Maybe you know somebody there. Maybe you know somebody who died. Maybe it was your dad, and you can go over and you can rub that name off on a piece of paper, and then you can go over and see the Korea, and you can see the World War II, and you can see the. They need an Afghanistan-Iraq war memorial. They do. It's about time. World War II music. Oh my God, the World War II memorial is amazing. We're gonna see it all. We're gonna take it all in. I'm like a kid. I never lose my sense of wonder. So if you want to come, just go to travelwithrob.net. Okay, travelwithrob.net. If you want to join me, here's the number. Did you say Emily's there, Brian? Yes. Okay, just 1 second. 800-383-3131, 800-383-3131, or, of course, travelwithrob.net. Emily Sturge, Campus Reform, how are you on this glorious April the 14th?
It is great to be with you. I'm doing well.
I am so glad that Eric Swalwell is gone and hopefully going to go to jail.
We will see what comes about, and you know what? I don't care if it's an R or a D next to any representative's name. I hope that they are held accountable.
Emily, you're a young woman. You are in politics. Surely everybody knows, as a young woman going to Washington, D.C., that you are chum to sharks. I mean, you have to know that a politician is going to try to convince you that they can really move you up. And all of this. Do you as a young woman, do you prepare yourself for something like this? Why is this still happening?
Well, unfortunately, that's true. It's still happening because our representatives aren't held accountable. So I feel like this should be the turning point. We've got a Republican and a Democrat both resigning from Congress because of sexual misconduct situations. And like I said, I mean, it doesn't matter if they're a Democrat or Republican. Sexual assault is not something that's a partisan issue. It is an issue in Washington. But this is exactly why Americans on both sides of the aisle are sort of rolling their eyes in disgust and ashamed of our representatives, and why Americans lack faith in our institutions like Congress nowadays.
You know, what's amazing is that, if you work anywhere, okay, I've gone through 3 massive sexual harassment seminars. One when I was selling cars, one in another radio company. Now, 4, I think now. And then I just went through one. It was like a 2-day online with tests about, what's appropriate, what's inappropriate. And I work by myself. So unless I'm going to harass myself, and listen, I'm quite a catch. If I were me, I would definitely want to, be with me. But that's meanwhile, Congress, the people who wrote the rules that make us go through that crap, have a slush fund to pay off women to keep quiet about being sexually assaulted.
It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's a national embarrassment, and social media has made it so much worse because it's not all happening just in the workplace. It's also happening on phone screens, and I mean, it should be even easier to call it out because now there's track records of it on Snapchat or even Instagram direct messages. So you know what? I bet in the coming weeks that we'll see a lot more screenshots come out when it comes to Eric Swalwell.
Oh, there's going to. But what even bothered me nearly as much is that people like Nancy Pelosi, who should be there looking out for young women, looking for opportunities, they helped enable this. Women in Congress helped enable this too.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what? Let's look at the party as a whole. The Democratic Party has an issue with women. Okay, we're talking about a party that allowed millions of illegal aliens into this country who have assaulted and murdered American women, like Sheridan Gorman or Laken Riley. And the Democrats didn't stand up for those women. And we're also talking about a party that has allowed men in women's locker rooms, in private spaces, in bathrooms, leading to the assault and trauma of more young women. And never did the Democrats stand up for those young women. So clearly they have a mess here, whether it's men in women's bathrooms or illegal aliens murdering young women or these sexual misconduct allegations, but they have a mess here that they need to clean up, and it's clear that the Democratic Party has looked past all of this.
I don't think there's any saving. I don't believe there's any saving the Democrat Party at this time. I really don't. I said that the Democrat Party would have to completely reinvent itself or disappear into the dustbin of history, but I'm going to tell you, at least the people on Capitol Hill, they're a cancer. You've got 70% of Democrats believe in voter ID. 100% of Democrats on Capitol Hill say no. You've got 95% of Democrats saying that boys should not be able to become girls and compete in girls' sports. 100% of Democrats on Capitol Hill say they should. That is the problem. That is the problem. And the Democrat Party just reliably expect people to vote because they have a D in front of their names. Then they expect illegals to give them the victory. That's what's going on here, Emily Sturge.
I mean, that's exactly what's going on. And going back to these allegations, going back to Swalwell, I want to point out that leaving Congress is not something that's going to erase those allegations. I mean, it just means that he no longer has the privilege of serving the American people. And resigning, it's the bare minimum. We should still see law enforcement investigate, and we should still see the legal system decide those consequences here. Because at the end of the day, of course, not only do the victims deserve justice, but the American people deserve accountability and transparency here. It's the American people that have voted, elected these representatives into office, and we deserve so much better than this.
Well, you know, we've had decades and decades of people in Washington, D.C. breaking the law and getting away with it. We never see people hauled away. Bob Menendez was like the first person who went to prison for graft and corruption, but nobody else has. I mean, you've got people who are suddenly worth hundreds of millions of dollars, Nancy Pelosi, through insider trading, allegedly. You've got all sorts of sexual misconduct. Nobody, weaponizing the DOJ against Donald Trump and his friends and followers. I mean, I could go on and on. And all of the fraud that's being exposed. I believe we're going through a baptism by fire, but people are going to have to be hauled away in handcuffs in government. Not just the people who are beneficiaries of it, but the people in Congress who enabled it and benefited from it. Emily, if you can hold on, I've got a bunch of stuff I want to get to, including Anthony Fauci, after destroying the lives of millions and millions of students with COVID protocols, being invited to speak as the graduate speaker at a university, among other stories. So we'll have more with Emily Sturge, campus reform, on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show. This is the Rob Carson Show. From Campus Reform, Emily Sturge. Campus Reform is awesome. When COVID happened, my daughter was a freshman in high school, and the second half of her freshman year was shut down. She was sent home. There was no online learning. There was nothing. So she went from December through August with no education whatsoever. Then there was online learning, that hybrid learning, and then they had to wear a stupid mask for a year. All of the championship games, all of the plays, all of the graduation ceremonies, everything that Gen Z missed, it is an enormous tragedy. You can't even begin to recognize the scope of what these bastards did to our kids for no good reason. Yet, for some reason, Tony Fauci is still celebrated as some sort of hero, even though he helped to cover up the origins of COVID. Emily Sturge, in Campus Reform, and talking about him being invited to be a graduation speaker. Why don't you tell us about that?
So McAllister College is now inviting Dr. Anthony Fauci to come speak at their college graduation ceremony. And my immediate response to that is, what a slap in the face to students. I mean, the disastrous COVID-19 policies that he encouraged not only damaged students' education, it also harmed their mental health, but like you mentioned with your daughter, robbed an entire generation of the normal high school and college experiences. Okay, I was one of those students too. Our campuses were shut down. We faced those mask and vaccine mandates, no graduation ceremonies, online classes, lockdowns, no prom, no homecoming, the list goes on. And you know what I remember? I remember not having any high school football games. Yet I remember Fauci pictured with his mask down at a national baseball game during COVID. And, these ceremonies should be about celebrating college students. They shouldn't have anything to do with pushing leftist ideology. But, of course, universities will take any chance they can get to push leftist ideology onto students.
I knew when it was happening in real time the damage it was causing, and it infuriated me. My son was in college. You know what college is about. It's about socializing. It's about being with your fraternity, being with whatever, having a good time. And think about all of the college athletes who missed the possibility of a championship game, and they're still celebrating this little SOB for what he did. I mean, honestly, I said that there's going to have to be some sort of Nuremberg trials for people like Anthony Fauci and whatnot. But what about the lasting damage to your generation, Emily? What do you suppose that is?
A mental health epidemic, because that was exactly what happened as a result of my generation stuck in isolation. Our real-life friendships turned into Zoom calls and FaceTimes. Our in-person classes turned into Zoom classes. And I want to be so clear that it wasn't just one chapter. It wasn't just a few years of our lives with those Zoom classes. That's still the norm on university campuses today. Students living on college campus today are still doing classes from their dorm rooms. It's no longer the norm to do classes in person and to have all those social activities in person. Building friendships, networking, enjoying campus life, that's what those are some of the biggest things college is about, aside from learning.
Yes.
But Generation Z was stuck in isolation, and what do we see? Rising depression, rising anxiety rates, and mental health struggles across college campuses and across an entire generation.
But can I give you what I believe is the positive? Is that isolation created a real value of personal human contact with Gen Z. I mean, a real value of being together when you are together. I've seen that with a lot of young people like my daughter and my son, a real value for their friendship and their connections because they were spent so many times, so many days apart. And I think there is some of that. And I think also with Gen Z doesn't drink as much. I think Gen Z, a lot of Gen Z people are turning toward marriage and faith after all of this nonsense. I know the badness that was caused, but there was also some good that came out. It wasn't because of the people in charge. It was the people who soldiered on and came together despite it all.
I love your optimism, and I have to point out, I think COVID showed my generation just how much control the federal government has over our lives.
Yep.
And it scared us. It scared an entire generation into swinging to the right because, one day we're sitting in school, hanging out with our friends, enjoying our lives, and then the next day the Democrats are saying that we have to follow taped arrows on the grocery
Dear God.
floor. Like,
So stupid.
I mean, all of these ridiculous policies that came out of it. Our campuses, again, shut down. Students in my generation had to make choices when it came to college decisions. They had to choose where to go to college based off where there were vaccine mandates and where they could go without having to get the vaccine. It showed my generation how much power the federal government had. It scared my generation into swinging to the right.
100%.
And I think that's why I think it bred conservative.
Yeah, 100%. I came up with the expression, don't catch the stupid, when this was going on. I said, if you believe that a paper mask provides as much protection from a deadly virus as a cowboy hat does for scuba diving. And I said that if you believe that if you stand 6 feet away from someone versus 4 feet, you're gonna save your life, you've caught the stupid. And the stupid is a lot worse. That has been my expression ever since Emily Sturge. And I know a lot of people didn't buy into it. And I am optimistic for Generation Z. I know a lot of them are off the rails, but I know that a lot of us come together. Dear God in heaven, Emily, I went to church on Easter, and I tell you what, every church around the block, people to wait to get in, and the assassination of Charlie Kirk, there is an overwhelming sense of good and God that is sweeping the globe and sweeping the country, and we're in the throes of a battle of good and evil, but I think good is going to win, Emily.
I think so too. And as a reporter at Campus Reform, during my time over the last year, reporting on Generation Z, I've reported that swing to the right. I've reported the boom in patriotism.
Yep.
I've reported the boom in faith and family values and tradition among Generation Z, and it's something that I'm really proud of my generation.
100%, me too. Hey, Emily, thanks for joining us today. Where can people find all your glorious work and your online presence?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm at Real Emily Sturge on all social media platforms and campusreform.org. I'm posting stories every single day.
All right, have a glorious day. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. What a day. What a day we're having. I think I'm going to have to play some comedy or something here. Hold on a second. Let me see what I got here. Victoria Coates. Bill O'Reilly. Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Sorry. Hold on, I gotta find something real quick here. I apologize. Okay, here we go. Wow, you guys are really crazy. You guys are going crazy online today. My God, I was noted that you guys are just being silly over on Rumble. You got dancing emojis and stuff. You guys are hilarious. I love that we have this community here, right? I mean, isn't this cool? This is why I never feel like I'm alone here. I mean, I'm in a room here, but I never feel alone because you guys are here with me, so it means a lot. Hello, Jellyfish Hunter. Hello, Samkin Potter. Good to see you. Thomas Harris, what's going on? You guys over on the YouTubeage are just massive presidents there. Scott Davies and Jesse James. 2488. I think you're new. You're new there. Good to see you. Good to see you there, Mickey Hastings. As always, Gladys Kravitz. What's going on? There's a lot of good stuff happening, and I gotta, try to be as positive as I can through it all because we gotta win this. We gotta win it. And honestly, I know we're going to. I know good is going to win. I really do. So I can't be anything but optimistic. But. And this is about morale, right? When you're going into battle, it's about morale. You got to keep the morale up. It's the most important thing I think I can do, right? Inform you, motivate you a little bit if I can. I think it helps. All right, I got to talk. Here we go. Oh, we got another hour of the show to go.
Get 3 minutes.
So Donald Trump's playing a little bit of 3D chess, and the Iranians were charging a toll to go through the Straits of Hormuz, and Donald Trump said, "Nah, you know what? I think we're just going to shut down your ports and shut down your economy altogether." Here's Victoria Coates talking about the genius of that move.
The reverse blockade is an amazing kind of almost card trick of President Trump to take what was supposed to be the leverage for the Iranians and turn it into leverage for us. And it's because of what he did during the first term with the maximum pressure campaign, pretty much undermining that economy. The Biden people let up, but the Iranians didn't invest the economic windfall they got under Biden. They spent it on things like October 7th.
No.
So now they're weak again.
Yeah.
And they had bank failures last October.
Yep.
They're having their stock exchange has been closed since March. Their internet's been down for
It's actually a goat exchange.
1,100 hours.
Completely different.
This is not recoverable from. So the vice president's 100% correct. This is going to resolve itself in our favor only because of what the Iranians have done to themselves, as well as the very effective.
100%. This is new from Jim Gossett on the blockade.
Did not make a deal. Leadership walked away from the table.
The goat exchange has collapsed.
To blockade the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. was able.
That was genius. Yeah, Joe Biden had dementia. Yeah, not Donald Trump.
Without the Strait, Iran's gonna feel such pain. Yet it's insane why there was no deal. I simply could never explain.
Genius move by a fantastic
And I guess that's why they're blocking Hormuz. We in Iran have so much
to lose. Yeah.
Ships they'll be bombing, they'll be exploding.
Boom!
Won't be unloading.
Nope.
Not safe for boating.
We're kicking their butts.
Soon they'll be bombing Hormuz.
Brandon from Jim Gossett. Jim Gossett. Go to patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy, patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy, and help him out if you would. Give him a little something every month, and he'll send you 2 parodies every single day. Hour number 3 of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. Don't go anywhere.
No blind rhetoric.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think. Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax. Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think. They let me decide. Real news for real people.
to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. Also, might want to mention top 10 best news commentary podcasts in the United States of America. We broke it yesterday. We're in the top 10, ladies and gentlemen, breathing the rare air that people like Rush Limbaugh did. We're not there yet. We got a way to go. No, listen, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. But we're breathing the rare air. You guys are making it happen. I moved to Washington, D.C., and I knew that I would have to make a noise that is too big to ignore. I built a studio here, and I said, I'm bringing you with me. I got divorced last year, and I could sit here and rot in Kansas City, or I can go and experience the 250th anniversary of the birth of our country and do it while Donald Trump is the president, because we were warriors for him. And look what's happening. Look what is happening. June 14th, they're going to do an MMA fight on the Capitol grounds. They got a Grand Prix race coming up in the fall. Oh, my gosh. I went to Cherry Blossom Festival. There's so much patriotism, so much love. There's so many people who are weeping once again when they hear the national anthem rather than kneeling like idiots. People understand that we live in the greatest country in the history of the world. We won both Olympic hockey championships this year, gold medal, men and women. And the Paralympics hockey, we won gold there too. And then we just launched. NASA was dead. NASA was DOA. NASA was toast. Donald Trump increased the size of the budget, did the same thing that John Kennedy did, inspiring them to discover again. And look what they did. They flew to the other side of the moon. We saw images we've never seen before. Like the images of Eric Swalwell, but much better. Obviously much better, much more historic. We're seeing all sorts of images of Eric Swalwell we didn't want to see. We're seeing his dark side, don't get me wrong. We're seeing Eric Swalwell's dark side, but we saw the dark side of the moon. Something your grandparents could have never imagined. Look at the glory that this country has given us. The internet, this terrible and amazing thing that you carry around with you that has the Library of Alexandria times 1,000,000. You can contact anybody on the earth in a heartbeat. I could talk to my best friend in Japan. Your ancestors could have never dreamed of this. Blue jeans, jazz, rock and roll, blues, gospel, television. Look at all the things that America has given. 250 years. You're seeing it, baby. Woo. Here's the ratings. Megyn Kelly, number 1. Tucker Carlson, number 2. Not for long. Ben Shapiro's up there. Dan Bongino, number 4. Glenn Beck. You got the Matt Walsh Show. Michael Knowles actually went into the top 10 today. Victor Davis Hanson, and then Rob Carson. Oh, Rob Carson, who was selling cars in Kansas City 6 years ago, drinking himself to death. But he was saved. And we're here together. It was overwhelming for me yesterday. I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, not worthy. But you know what? We got to be number 1. We're going to be number 1. And you know why we're doing it? You know why we're doing this? Because you're here with me. We entertain, inform, and motivate you to do good. That's what I'm here for. And to use comedy, mockery, ridicule, and satire to make fun of the left, because conservative comedy is ascending because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. That's it. And we're at a serendipitous place. We really are. I'm going to be out this weekend, Sussex County Radio Electronics Expo. The 18th, come see Radio Fun at the Sussex Academy, Georgetown Airport, with my awesome affiliate WGMD. My good buddy Walt Palmer, program director, Mark Giuliani, who gives me this glorious studio to use every day. Yeah, this is his studio, for crying out loud. Vendors, food displays, me. I'm going to be selling Don't Catch the Stupid t-shirts. I'm going to have some Don't Catch the Stupid t-shirts. So visit radioelectronicsexpo.com, radioelectronicsexpo.com. Then at the end of the month, May 30th, a rally for first responders. And it's going to be something else. I'll give you the details on that very soon. Very soon. I'm very blessed. I love to meet you guys. It's one of the biggest joys of my entire life is meeting you guys. So Tulsi Gabbard has released a bunch of classified documents because the impeachment of Donald Trump in 2019 was a scam. Here's Newsmax reporting on this with Alana Austin, by the way. She's a young reporter in Washington, D.C. I want to acknowledge her because she's up and coming. She's doing a great job covering the White House and whatnot. And here's
administration is dropping declassified records, which, according to Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, shows a coordinated effort to impeach President Trump during his first term.
You're going to want to hear this one. Correspondent Alana Austin live on Capitol Hill with the details. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Christina and Sean. And what Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, is alleging here is that bureaucratic operatives pushed forward information from biased sources and led to the underpinnings of the
2019
impeachment effort against President Donald Trump. Now, we know that effort was unsuccessful in leading to removal from office, but Gabbard says this was potentially an attempt to tank his presidency. She is pinning the blame on former Inspector General Michael Atkinson for bypassing what she says are the standard.
Oh, but there are other people. There's John Brennan. There's Barack Obama.
Operating procedures, pushing forward a whistleblower complaint as credible when it was based on secondhand information.
There was no evidence.
Now, Gabbard is also criticizing one of the whistleblowers as a registered Democrat who previously worked closely with former President Joe Biden in Ukraine. Another source had close ties to disgraced former FBI agent Peter Strzok. We know he harbored very strong anti-Trump viewpoints. Now, regarding these findings, Gabbard says this: deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted a false narrative that was used by Congress to usurp the will of the American people.
Yeah, and the scumbags who did it need to go to prison for it. And this is this is one of the many tribulations we have been through. This is one of the many things they put us through, on top of every other damn thing they did to us. And this is why I'm here. This is why Donald Trump is here. Here's the president talking about one of the many attempts to destroy him, take him down, destroy his presidency, and usurp the will of the American people.
Bunch of crooked people. You're talking about with respect to all of the things that they put against me? Yeah. Well, it's come out that in so many different ways. Thank you very much for that question. I appreciate it. But in so many different ways, the election was rigged. The 2020 election was rigged. We found that out. What you just said is...
You can't say that. It's disinformation. Oh, no, they just called it that to shut everybody up.
Just a piece of that. It's a big piece, but minor, relatively speaking, compared to what they did. They cheated in the election. They cheated on the vote. And they cheated in everything.
And it's biting them in the butt. Because look who's the president in the 250th anniversary of the year of our country's birth.
Every way possible, and it's the only way we got an incompetent man to be a president.
This is great.
And he was an incompetent man. Many of the things that we're talking about, even including this would have been settled a long time ago, not now. And it should have been settled by other presidents. But the election was a rigged election. We can't let that happen to our country.
Right now, the Democrat Party is just going down in flames. Going down in flames right now. They are not going to win the midterms. There's just too much corruption, too much nonsense coming out. You got Adam Schiff having to resign. They're trying to make it act like, oh, yeah, there's a real shift in the balance of power. We have a Republican who's had to resign, and you had a Democrat. Well, there's really no shift in power right now yet, because another Democrat's going to be leaving Congress because she stole a bunch of money and stuff. But, Ben, there's a baptism by fire going on right now, man. I'm telling you what. Here is what I want to play here, John. Mark Meadows talking about the fake impeachment of Donald Trump.
That this is out there. But, Mark, you had very serious conversations and questions early on about the
This is on the Just the News podcast.
Credibility of, and I guess we can't really call him a whistleblower anymore, Eric Ciaramella. You had very serious questions about it. Did you ever see these IG reports? Anything regarding the hearsay?
Oh, they all still impeached him for nothing when he got out of office, then raided Mar-a-Lago with no good reason to do for, no probable cause.
His bias, the Biden-Ukraine ties, you suspected all of it, right?
We did, and every time the questioning came up, and just to be clear, I want to make sure I give full credit to those that were in the room, because as you, if I can bring your viewers back in with us, we were down in a skiff in the Capitol complex, which was a secure location, and so it was me and Jim Jordan, Lee Zeldin, a few others that were doing the questioning along with the staff. But every time that even we would dip our toe in the water to start to talk about the credibility of this alleged whistleblower or what they said, or
they do.
Want to cross-examine even some of the facts. We got the Heisman from Chairman Schiff and others, and yet they would leak out, the Democrats would leak out other information from this secure location. So they were...
Yeah, they leaked information. It's going to cause them all sorts of problems. And hopefully, wouldn't it be cool if Adam Schiff ended up going to prison because of it? Would that be something else? Here's Jonathan Turley. He's saying Schiff could be facing maybe 10 years in prison. Ooh, something to wish for. Hold on one second. It's right here. Here's Jonathan. Nope, that's not it. That's Nick Shirley. I'm looking for Jonathan Turley. They sound alike, Nick Shirley and Jonathan Turley.
Yeah, Schiff was viewed as one of the most political chairs of that committee in its history. And this is a truly chilling account, if true. Now, when I first read it, frankly, I was taken aback because it's perfectly moronic to commit such a felony with a planning conference meeting with staff. That's not usually how things are leaked in Washington, D.C. What makes this different, Will, is that this was a statement made to FBI agents. The person who made this statement was no doubt aware that lying to FBI agents is not just a crime, but a crime that was repeatedly prosecuted during prior administrations, including the Obama and Biden administrations.
Right.
So making this statement puts you at risk. That's why someone's lying here, and someone's a felon.
Yeah, and this is what they were concerned about. This is why they said that Donald Trump was going to do retribution. You bet your ass he's going to do retribution. He's going to do accountability. People are going to go to jail. People are going to go to jail for what they did. You know, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson. You know my signature phrase, don't catch the stupid. When it comes to Medicare, that's easier said than done. Medicare is overly complex, with thousands of plans, hidden gotchas in the fine print, and rules nobody really explains to you. Many people just pick something and hope for the best. That's why you need to know about Chapter. They're the only advisor that looks at every plan in the country, matches your doctors, your prescriptions, and your situation to a plan that fits your needs. When your call with Chapter is done, you know your doctors are covered. Your prescriptions are matched, and you go from, I hope I did this right, to, I know I did. That, my friends, is peace of mind. A call with Chapter is free for my audience, and there's no pressure to sign up. Call Chapter today. Here's the number, 27 Medicare. That's 27 MEDICARE. 27 Medicare for Chapter. No pressure. What's your excuse? Call 27 Medicare and don't catch the stupid yourself. Call 27 Medicare today.
Somalis are all on welfare, and the Dems just seem to not care. Ilhan Omar, she needs to go. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. Many are anti-Semitic. Their statements have been pathetic. They're a threat to all you know. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. They are always expressing hate of America. Why are they here? Must deport before it's too late. Talk about holiday cheer. Our language, they will not learn it. Own money, refuse to earn it. They are gaming the system so. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the two things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor. You got to kill that audio, Ken. Jim Jordan on why the Democrat Party opened the southern border to illegals.
It's all by design. It's all planned. Mm-hmm. For 4 years, it was a wide open border. 8 to 10 million people entered this country. Yeah. And then when they got here, left-wing politicians all across the country said, we're going to provide sanctuary for these 8 to 10 million people who illegally came into the country. Yep. 18 cities, 11 states, 3 counties, and the District of Columbia, representing almost a third of the population of this nation.
The Democrat Party is evil.
They said, we will give sanctuary. We're going to...
If you're still a Democrat, you really ought to have a come to Jesus moment. And I mean that literally.
Tell local law enforcement not to work with federal law enforcement when it comes to the enforcement of federal law. And what does that mean in practice?
What does that mean?
Illegal migrant commits another crime, is in jail, in a detention center. ICE sends a detainer there, said, will you let us know if you're going to let this guy out? Mm-hmm. And 17,864 times last year, they said no.
And they went on to murder and rape and all sorts of stuff.
We won't work with you. Go get them on the street.
Wow.
And then what happens then? ICE goes out on the street to get him. And the left-wing agitators on the street spit on them.
Yep, attack them.
Dox them.
Yep.
Track them.
Because they're
harass them.
They call them Nazis.
Swear at them.
Sickening.
And now what do the Democrats want to do? Not pay them. It's all by design.
100%. 100% by design. Wow. Speaking of attacks, Savannah Hernandez was in Minneapolis. And, you know, I said years ago, I came up with the expression, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews come together to save America. It's going to be the title of my book, by the way. And I said, you know, you've got these in the shadow of where the Twin Towers stood. You've got anti-Israel protests at January the 7th. People celebrating January the 7th. And I said, sooner or later, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are going to have to get together and go down there and kick some ass. I'm not kidding. I'm going to take my country back. Defensively, they swing first. You beat them down. Savannah Hernandez is just a journalist. She was attacked by these maniacs in Minneapolis. These maniacs, these people who went into the church and terrified people. These people who attacked ICE agents, by the way, who didn't murder 2 people. They defended themselves from being run over and nearly shot. because these people have been whipped into a mania by the Democrat Party. Here's Savannah Hernandez talking about the attack.
This escalated because they found out that I work for Turning Point USA. This isn't the first time that I have been confronted and assaulted at this point for...
Yeah, the guy who founded Turning Point USA was murdered last year.
...journalism on the streets of the United States of America, but since Charlie Kirk's assassination...
And the Democrat Party said that he was somehow evil, or he was a good and decent man. Nobody argued philosophy, political philosophy, and theology like him. He will never be replaced. He's an amazing human being, and they murdered him. They lied about him. They called him a fascist. It was even written on the shell casing of the bullet that killed him.
This is not the third time that people have come up to me after I have not been interviewing, not been engaging, but simply being on the street and filming a protest, figured out I work for Turning Point USA, and have made a point to confront me, to threaten me, to harass me, and now brutally assault me to prove a point. So that's why this escalated, Laura. I wasn't interviewing anybody. I wasn't engaging with anybody.
Nope.
I was, and I apologize. This is the first time I'm talking about this assault, and I'm scared to report, Laura. This is my job. It's what I've been doing for the last 6 years, and I'm terrified to do my job.
Sickening. Done with it. Done with it. I was attacked by somebody on the Metro this weekend for wearing a Trump hat. She didn't attack me physically because she knows a little better, because I'm not a small person. I'm pretty good shape and pretty damn strong, so I don't think she really wanted to bleep with me, to be quite honest. But here's a little bit more from Savannah Hernandez to the scope of the kind of people that were attacking her: godless Marxists and communists.
I was targeted because I work for Turning Point USA, because I'm a brown woman who thinks the wrong thing, because I am a Christian. They were mocking me for my religion. They were mocking me for my political views. They, like I said, they told me that I had no right to be on a public street, and they made sure to run me out and brutally assault me multiple times as I was trying to leave. So
did the same thing with Andy No.
That's the United States of America in 2026, and my main question is, how was this allowed to happen in President Trump's America? So
Harmeet Dillon's going after him. Going to charge him big time with federal crimes, and they send the little jerks to jail. See how well they are in the prison yard. Here's Tom Homan.
And look, my heart goes out, and this shouldn't happen in the United States. But what feeds all this? Mayors and governors and members of Congress who want to vilify Republicans. They want to vilify President Trump. They want to vilify Turning Point USA because they have conservative beliefs. I mean, they attack journalists. Well, they also attack sworn law enforcement officers. We're living in a country now where an ICE officer gets attacked daily. These protests, these attacks not only happen where Sarah was, it also happened in Los Angeles, Portland, Chicago. It's an ongoing dilemma, and that's why I'm grateful the FBI is stepping in. DOJ is going to see.
Yeah, 100%. And then, by the way, there's nothing wrong with being an ICE agent. They are perfectly honorable members of law enforcement.
But members of Congress, every day, I've been up on Hill negotiating DHS shutdown. They don't want to reform ICE. They want to shut it down. And they talk about ICE making arrests in schools and churches and hospitals. We've never made an arrest inside of a hospital. We've never made arrests inside of a church. But I watched a TV show last week, some medical show, and they showed ICE agents coming into an emergency and arresting somebody that was getting ready for surgery. The whole left is misinforming the American people, and that's why you see the hate and their rhetoric, because all these people are lying about what the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol do.
Your comeuppance is going to happen, Tim Vance. And Keith Ellison and Ilhan Omar, you're going to be denaturalized and deported. Sent the hell back to the meth lab trailer park of the world, Somalia. It's coming. It's coming. Coming up, John Reid ran for lieutenant governor of the state of Virginia about Abigail Schamberger. She's going down in flames. We'll talk about that coming up. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep. not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my ghost bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about GhostBed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. GhostBed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new GhostBed.
I always accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. With me, there is no in between. State of the Union scored, approval rate how it has soared. Democrats cannot afford to take me for granted anymore. Inflation's low, employment's high. The Dow Jones, it is headed for the sky. Borders secure, illegals aren't jetting in. That's why I accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. With me, there is no in between.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I can still crush it at the gym, carry an armchair by myself, or do any home improvement project without pain during or after, and that's Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, the two things that matter most, it works and you trust it. Relief Factor was created by a combat-wounded Vietnam veteran. He decided to become a doctor simply to help people, to heal them. If pain is holding you back, find out why so many people, including me, make Relief Factor a part of their daily routine. Try the 3-week quick start today. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. Or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Drugs transported by boat, Venezuela. You best take note. Cartels, they're having fits 'cause they're men. They were blown to bits. The drug boat, it now resides on the ocean floor. The drug boat, Marco says we're gonna take out more. Yes, their lives are in danger if they take another chance. 'Cause drugs, we won't tolerate. Shut it down before it's too late. No drugs. A boat that was filled with drugs.
Do you know what our slogan is in Virginia for America 250?
What's that?
Our Virginia slogan is America, made in Virginia.
Yep.
Because it was. And you know what? It ain't bragging if you can do it. I love this country. I love the posse, but there is no state in the United States like Virginia. And, you know, you were talking about Roman citizenship. Sometimes as a native lifelong Virginian, I feel like I have a special place in this country as well because of that. And we will be darned if that's going to be torn up by the Democrats or by Republicans who want us to be more like Democrats.
That is Patty Lyman, Loudoun County Republican Committee, and if she ran for governor when Scamberger was running, I think she might have won. She's a lively individual, and honestly, she made me really appreciate what it means to live in the state of Virginia. So many years, we watched as people were burning down statues or tearing down statues and burning down, trying to burn down churches and all of this. And I drive through where I live in Northern Virginia, and the street signs are still Washington and Lee and Jefferson, et cetera. And there is a pride here in the state of Virginia. Virginia is a proud founding state. And that Abigail Scamberger lied about what she is, who she is, and they ushered in these academics, these wacko Marxists into the Virginia Commonwealth legislature. The people of Virginia are very animated and almost on a revolutionary footing, and they should be. Joining me to talk about this, and I understand we are on his podcast as well as we speak, John Reid, broadcaster, former lieutenant governor nominee for the great state of Virginia, host of the Reid Revolution, where we are currently on his show while he's on my show. John Reid, welcome to the show. How you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm great, Rob. Thank you. And I'll tell my audience I'm talking to Rob Carson nationally right now, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Listen, the Democrats, Abigail Scamberger flat out misled everybody.
I know, bro.
She lied to everybody, and people are mad about it. Big time mad about it.
Well, I said this after it happened, John, and I talked to you, and I said, you cannot have a platform, a party platform, and convince people to vote for you on that platform and then completely change the platform when you get in office. If that were the case, then the Communist Party could be in charge at any time. They have to say they're communists, they have to say they're socialists, etc. And they are not able to win in places like Virginia. But she out and out lied, and she got into office, and she immediately, they got this attempting to gerrymander Virginia so there's no representation by Republicans. The referendum is coming up on April 21st. And, John, if I'm not mistaken, taxation with representation is one of the reasons why this country was founded.
See, everybody's skipping that part. You think you can stomp on the votes of people out in rural Virginia just because you don't like Donald Trump? That's what I'm telling the Democrats up in Northern Virginia. Be careful what you're doing. You're anchoring 5 congressional districts in Fairfax, one of the wealthiest, most powerful counties in the entire country, so that you can keep Republicans from having a congressional voice at the Capitol. That crosses all boundaries here, especially for a state like Virginia, where we passed a constitutional amendment 5 years ago. 66% of the people said, we want the politicians out of this. We want an independent, as fair as possible map drawn. Now the Democrats taste the power, they hate Trump, and they're trying to stomp on their neighbors. Well, I got news for you. Your neighbors may not appreciate that, and I hope we're going to be able to defeat this thing next Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, there's a Gadsden flag license plate available in Virginia that's called "Don't Tread on Me," and that's exactly what the hell this is about.
You got it. People really don't like the higher taxes, but at least they feel like they get to vote on someone who goes and represents them at the Capitol to make their case and cast a vote whichever direction they feel. If they feel like you're taking their statues, they're taking your money, they're taking your guns, now they're going to take your voice and your vote? Oh, hell no. I think there's some consequences to that.
Oh, brother, that restrictions on the Second Amendment, they were handing out magazines that are soon to be restricted in the state of Virginia. That's going to go by the wayside why the Harmeet Dillon's going after that nonsense. But I'm going to tell you what, you don't mess with rural Virginia when it comes to that. You don't mess with it when it becomes their representation. They will fight this tooth and nail. They've really awakened a sleeping tiger, haven't they?
Well, that's why if anybody is out here in their pickup truck running between appointments or jobs this afternoon and you haven't voted no already,
yep.
don't be fooled by the Democrats. Go vote no, because you either kill this thing on April 21st or it's going to be hell to try to fix it down the road. Kill it by voting no and protect your own voice and vote.
It is utterly ridiculous. I just read a poll the other day that 76% of Virginians were against this. Now, this doesn't mean, you can't take it for granted. You've got to get your butt out there and you've got to vote no on this because and then you combine this with all the other nonsense they're doing. A $2.6 billion budget surplus going in this. They came up with like 80 new taxes, including making you get rid of your gas leaf blower, and then you got to pay a tax on your electric leaf blower, and then charging you a tax for dog grooming and for deliveries to your home for Uber Eats or for Amazon, and go on and go. None of this was necessary. And then they wanted to, John, be able to give as much money, government money, as they wanted to NGOs and charities without any accountability, without any audit.
No audit.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
They want to empower the crooks. They want to empower the people who are embezzling and stealing from the public treasury. If you didn't want to do that, you would be tightening the controls with what we've seen in other states right now. But they will not do it. It's outrageous that the Democrats are behaving this way. And the problem is, as angry as some of us are, the Democrats are going to spend over, get this, $50 million trying to manipulate the voters. Now, we've got to shut this down.
We have absolutely got to
people from out of state buy this.
And when we shut it down, then we're going to go after recalling the psychotic cat lady that is in the governor's mansion. I mean, honestly, I've never seen anything like this woman. She is a mess. She's a former CIA agent and whatnot. She is, I don't know what her deal is, but clearly she is there for a reason, and that is to mislead the state of Virginia and turn it in a direction that no one in the state of Virginia ever wanted the state to go in. And I think it's going to fail, John Reid. I think it's going to fail. Listen, before we go, tell everybody on my audience about your podcast, where they can find you.
Yeah, well, it's the Reid Revolution. I do it every afternoon, 5 days a week. But you can, of course, download it on Apple and Spotify and listen to it when they're not listening to you. And we've got great video content. I hope you'll see it on Facebook, on X and Twitter, and all the social media.
Well, let me also
Revolution.
I'll do a plug for my show, the Rob Carson Show, which is number 10 in the nation for political commentary behind such great people as Tucker Carlson. We're in the top 10, John. We're kicking butt and taking names. So glad to know you. You and I make a great team. We're going to turn this state around, this nonsense. Vote no right now and vote no on Tuesday. All right, brother?
All right. Thanks, Rob. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you next week, hopefully with a big victory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll get you on. We'll get you on Wednesday for sure. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. So the Catholic Church said nothing as the Ayatollah killed 35,000 Iranians. Said nothing about Iran getting a nuclear weapon, trying to get a nuclear weapon. I honestly got to tell you, the Catholic Church has the same damn problem that the Democrat Party does. It's in the leadership. It's not in the people. The people's heart are with the right things. But you get these Jesuit liberals who are just on the wrong side of history about everything. They're talking about 60 Minutes did a big piece. 3 cardinals coming together to downplay the Donald Trump for the midterms. Yet the Democrat Party is the party that ushered in the abortion of 67 million people. Honestly, Catholic Church leadership, pull your heads out of your rear ends. Make sure to take that big fancy hat off before you do it. I got to tell you, as somebody who's been a Catholic my entire life, I'm done with this nonsense. So the new Pope Leo decides to mouth off about you got all sorts of worried about Donald Trump and the unjust war in Iran, which is not unjust. It's a reaction to 47 years of terror and evil. Il Papa, evil. That's what the Iranian regime is. Evil. Donald Trump's there to save the people and to destroy the evil. But of course, he mouthed off in typical fashion, an ignoramus, like so many at the upper echelons of Catholic leadership. They always put these libtards in charge there and all of that. And before they had Francis, he was a fool as well. The last good person in there was JP. JP was the dude. JP was the dude. He helped tear down the Soviet Union, for God's sake. And you know what? Only a man like Donald Trump would have the cojones to say, you know what? I'm not going to apologize to the Pope. What? Yeah, not going to apologize to the Pope. Not one little bit. Here's the president yesterday.
He now says you owe Pope Leo an apology. Do you apologize?
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. No. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead, and it's not going to happen. I think he's very weak on crime and other things, so I'm not.
He's on the wrong side of just about everything, actually. Here is Bill O'Reilly. If he could, facilitate a meeting between the president and the Pope, what he would ask the Pope.
I would have to ask His Holiness, very frankly, you had 30,000 people gunned down in Iran just a few weeks ago. We heard nothing from the Vatican on that at all.
No.
Nothing. You have terror.
Because the Vatican has TDS too. Duh.
Government close to a nuclear weapon. Is it acceptable for the Catholic Church to look away from that? As you know, I wrote Confronting Evil, and the theme of the book is that these heinous individuals, they gain power by people looking away, by people not wanting to pay the price.
The Catholic Church kind of has a history of that a little bit.
You put it, for gasoline or food. That's how they get power. Mm-hmm. Now, the Catholic Church has not defined, how would you think that Pope Leo would answer that question? It's a very simple question.
Yeah.
Is the Catholic Church okay with the mullahs having a nuclear weapon? Your Holiness, yes or no?
Yeah, honestly, you got to just stay the hell out of it. He ought to just stay out of it. Honestly, it's nakedly political. That's all it is. It's only political. That the Catholic Church would look past the goodness that's happening by getting rid of the Ayatollah and the mullahs and freeing the Persian people and mouthing off like that, like a typical liberal leftist. Ridiculous. Just kind of done with it. Nick Shirley is a journalist, and he's the biggest threat to the Democrat Party and their massive scam industrial complex in the state of California, where he has exposed hospice, billions, possibly trillions of dollars in fraud with Medicare, particularly with a hospice scam that's been going out there. They have introduced a new bill in the legislature to stop people like Nick Shirley from doing journalism.
All right, check this out. This is a bit crazy. California Democrats advance Stop Nick Shirley Act to criminalize investigative journalism. So after I expose widespread fraud all across America, and quite frankly, states like Minnesota and California are just the worst at it. letting fraud take place, especially inside of immigrant communities. For instance, the Somalians in Minnesota and then the Armenians in California. And so now they're trying to silence anybody who...
This is an affront on the First Amendment. This cannot be excused.
Exposes fraud inside of California. For instance, if this bill is passed, the Quality Learning Center that was in Minnesota would be protected from being exposed. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. It is unconstitutional as well. Peter St-Onge is somebody I've been watching on the social media. He delivers some brilliant commentary. Here he is talking about the billions of dollars in Medicaid fraud from Democrats.
The welfare fraud industrial complex. One Mississippi nonprofit stole $77 million. A Medicare Advantage fraud in California stole $90 million with fake patients. Homeless people make excellent fake patients.
Yes, they do.
One Indian dentist in Pennsylvania fraudulently billed $32 million while also fraudulently bringing in H-1Bs and getting kickbacks from them. Section 8, addiction programs, autism therapy, fake ambulances for government-funded medical transportation. The list goes on. In Minnesota alone, federal prosecutors are estimating $9 billion in fraudulent Medicaid payments alone, which extrapolates to hundreds of billions nationwide. IRS sampling implies $120 billion in fraud in California alone.
Yeah, Stephen Miller said that if they could get rid of all the fraud, we would have no federal deficit. Here is Peter St-Onge talking about, listen to this, listen to how much they're spending. This is going to make you sick. Think about what you could do with this amount of money. This is what they're spending on homeless, and they're not making it better. Listen to this.
Of course, hospice is just the beginning. New York recently admitted they spend $82,000 per year for every homeless person, projected to rise to $97,000. San Francisco spent $141,000 per homeless person.
So if you and your sig other each got $140,000, do you suppose you'd be homeless anymore?
That's worth noting. The average American spends $60,000 a year. Meaning New York homeless should be living better than the average American.
Wow.
They should be vacationing in Tuscany and buying tasteful art pieces for their vacation homes.
Wow.
San Francisco homeless should be living like kings. Of course, they are not, for the simple reason the money does not go to the homeless. It goes to the nonprofits that make up the welfare fraud.
Yeah, that's what it is. And they are, as he puts, the foot soldiers, nonprofits, the foot soldiers of the Democrat Party.
So how can trillions of fraud run day in, day out for decades? Easy nonprofits are the foot soldiers of the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
They round up the votes, kick back campaign donations, they protest or riot when needed, and in return they cash over $1 trillion of your tax money.
And it's going to end. It's going to end. That's why they're caterwauling. That's why they're doing a death spiral into hell. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Okay. Hi, kids. Hello, America Marcy. Hello, Jamie Bellett. Good to see you guys over on the YouTubeage. Who's watching on Rumble? Beck Ottenberry. Yeah, on my word, let's go to New York City and get our share. Can you imagine $140,000 per homeless person in San Francisco? And yet, it's all stolen. It's all looted. It's all looted. In the state of New York, let me see if I can find this. Hold on one second. New York, what's her name? New York, Congresswoman, New York. Hold on, I've got it. Nicole Malliotakis. Yeah, she had a statement on it. Let me see if we can find it real quick. Nicole Malliotakis. Here we go. April 13th, yeah. I got this. I'm going to save this here. I've got a million sound bites going through my brain. Yeah, here we go. I got this. We'll do this in a second. So anyway, we're getting raped. We are financially, we're getting raped. And this has been going on for decades. It is so thoroughly sickening. We're worse than the Soviet Union ever dreamed of being. We're worse than the Soviet Union ever dreamed of being. We're supposed to be the guys in the white hats. We're not. We're the guys in the black hats. We're the bad guys. We're the bad guys. It's sickening. People have got to pay, man. I'm telling you, this is why we're here. This is why we're here. This is why we're together at this time. We've got to overwhelm them with joy and patriotism and faith. But we cannot not fight them. We've got to fight them. We've got to drive them into hell and out of power. There you go. Are you with me? All right. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, about 250 here.
Dig it.
About compassion. It's actually about corruption, I believe. I mean, if you look at these contracts, this has become a business in the city of New York. There are contracts that I've seen where we're talking $4,000 to up to $11,000 per unit. Per unit. That is homeless. So much more than my constituents are paying their mortgage every month. This has become a real business here, and it started with Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio, under him, we had about 50,000 homeless individuals housed in shelters across the city. Now it's up to 100,000. It has doubled. And Mayor Mondani, since being put in office, he's already proposed 3 new shelters in my district.
It's all about giant political payoff. Can you imagine living on $11,000 a month? What would you do with $11,000 a month? What the hell kind of house would you live in? I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, costs almost $3,000. Unbelievable. Baptism by fire. We need a baptism by fire. We need people hauled away in handcuffs. Yeah. So you got to get signed up for this Learn and Earn in Precious Metals event from Birch Gold. The U.S. dollar has lost 85% of its purchasing power because the government prints money. Gold has gone up 12,000% since 1971 when the dollar's convertibility into gold ended. Gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. The free online event with Birch Gold helps you earn rewards for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. They're not going to force you. They're going to pressure you. They're not going to call you. They're not going to do all this. Sign up, get free silver on your next purchase, get even larger incentives as you go, and you're going to learn more. That's, invaluable. Text my name, Rob, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. It ends the end of this month, and it's already the 14th. So you got 16 days to get on this, and I would recommend you do it now, okay? So it's very simple. It's not going to take much time. You're going to learn a whole lot, and, if you decide to buy, that's great. If you don't, that's cool, too. Just going to give you an opportunity to learn. Text Rob to 989898, Rob to 9898 for Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. That's going to do it for the show today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for making, I can't even believe it, we're the number 10 biggest news commentary podcast in America. Right up there breathing the rare air with Dan Bongino and Ben Shapiro. You did it, and it's only going to get bigger because I've only been here 7 months in Washington, D.C. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I love you. God bless you, America's founder, Donald Trump. He's making America great again. Our military that did a fantastic job in Iran continuing to kick butt. And until tomorrow, which is Wednesday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.